Michelle Obama. Chapter 1. I spent much of my childhood listening to the sound of striving. It came in the form of bad music or at least amateur music coming up through the floorboards of my bedroom, the plink 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 of students sitting downstairs at my great aunt Roby's piano, slowly and imperfectly learning their skills. My family lived in the South Shore neighborhood of Chicago in a tiny brick bungalow that belonged to Roby and her husband Terry. My parents rented an apartment on the second floor while Roby and Terry lived on the first. Roby was my mom's aunt and had been generous to her over many years, but to me she was kind of a terror, prim and serious. She directed a chore at a local church and was also our community's resident piano teacher. She wore sensible shoes and kept a pair of reading glasses on a chain around her neck. She had a sly smile, but didn't appreciate sarcasm the way my mom did. I'd sometimes hear her chewing out her students for not having practiced enough or chewing out their parents for delivering them late to lessons. "Good night," she'd exclaim in the middle of the day, with the same blast of exasperation. Someone else might say, "Oh, for God's sake!" Few, it seemed, could live up to Roby's standards. The sound of people trying, however, became to a soundtrack to our life. There was plinking in the afternoons, plinking in the evenings. Ladies from church sometimes came over to practice hums under Roby's rules. Kids who took piano lessons were allowed to work on only one song at a time. From my room, I listened to them attempting, note by uncertain note, to win her approval, graduating from Hot Cross Buns to Brahms' Lullaby. But only after many tries. The music was never annoying, it was just persistent. It crept up the stairwell that separated our space from Roby's. It drifted through open windows in summertime, accompanying my thoughts as I played with my Barbies or built little kingdoms made out of blocks. The only break came when my dad got home from an early shift at the city's water treatment plant and put the Cubs game on TV, boosting the volume just enough to blot it all out. This was a tail end of the 1960s on the south side of Chicago. The Cubs weren't bad, but they weren't great either. I'd sit on my dad's lap in his rec- rec- recliner and listen to him narrate how the Cubs were playing or why Billy Williams, who lived just around the corner from us on Constance Avenue, had such a sweet swing from the left side of the plate. Outside the ballparks, America was in the midst of a massive and uncertain change. The Kennedys were dead. Martin Luther riots across the country, including in Chicago. The 1968 Democratic National Convention turned bloody as police went after Vietnam War protesters with batons and tear gas in Grant Park, about 9 miles north of where we lived. White families, meanwhile, were moving out of the city to the suburbs, that drawn by the promise of better schools, more space, and probably more whiteness too. None of this really registered with me. I was just a kid, a girl with Barbies and blocks, with two parents and an older brother who slept each night with his head about 3 feet from mine. My family was my world, the center of everything. My mom taught me how to read early walking me to the public library, sitting with me as I sounded out words on a page. My dad went to work every day dressed in a blue uniform of a city laborer, but at night he showed us what it meant to love jazz and art. As a boy, he'd taken classes at the Art Institute of Chicago, and in high school, he'd painted and sculpted. He'd been a competitive swimmer and boxer in school too, and as an adult was a fan of every televised sport from professional golf to the NHL. He appreciated seeing strong people excel. When my brother Craig got interested in basketball, my dad propped coins about the door frame in our kitchen, encouraging him to leap for them.